Thank you everyone for listening to this recording on tornado preparedness. While some of the information shared today is specific to the Oklahoma region, the majority of what is discussed is valid for any area that experiences tornadoes. This recording will cover the following: tornado basics, EF scale, tornado watch and tornado warning, Oklahoma specific, planning before, during, and after a tornado, signs to look for, resources, and checklist. So what is a tornado? A tornado is a rotating column of air that extends from the base of a thunderstorm to the ground and is formed when cool air overrides a layer of warm air, forcing the warm air to rise rapidly. A tornado is most likely to happen in March through August, but can happen any time during the year if conditions are right. Tornadoes typically occur in the afternoons and evenings. However, they have occurred any time of the day or night. Tornado Alley is a nickname invented by the media for a broad area of relatively high tornado occurrence in the central U.S. Generally, Tornado Alley starts in central Texas and goes north through Oklahoma, central Kansas, Nebraska, and eastern South Dakota, sometimes doglegging east through Iowa, Missouri, Illinois, and Indiana to western Ohio. This slide shows where the highest concentration of tornadoes occur. The strength of a tornado is determined by looking at the amount of damage it has caused. Wind speed can be estimated based on these observations. The Enhanced Fajita Scale, or EF scale, was implemented by the National Weather Service in 2007 to rate tornadoes in a more consistent and accurate manner. The EF scale takes into account 28 damage indicators, such as building type, structures, and trees. Each of these 28 indicators is subsequently divided into 8 degrees of damage, rating from a small amount of visible damage to complete destruction of the damage indicator. This slide shows the difference between the damage of an EF2 and an EF5 category tornado. As you can see, the amount of damage in the first picture is much less than the second one. Damage to buildings is one of the indicators on the EF scale. With complete destruction of the building or indicator, the tornado would receive a high EF rating. Please note that even damage from the lesser EF2 tornado could cause bodily harm or injuries if you do not take shelter. Now we will discuss the difference between a tornado watch and a tornado warning. A tornado watch is classified by the following. It's issued to specific counties by the National Weather Service. It means that the possibility of tornadoes exists in your county. Remain weather alert for approaching severe weather. Spread the word to family, friends, and coworkers. Turn on local TV, radio, or weather radios and stay alert for warnings. It is important that you know the county you live in as well as your surrounding counties so that you will know if your area could be affected. A tornado warning is issued to specific counties by the National Weather Service. It means a tornado has been sighted or indicated by weather radar in your county. Outdoor warning devices will sound if a tornado warning has been issued. The Oklahoma City area tests their tornado sirens at noon on Saturday. If you're in a different state, find out from your local municipality, Chamber of Commerce, or Red Cross when the testing is done in your location. Immediately seek shelter in your pre-designated place of safety. Turn on local TV, radio, and weather radio and stay alert for further information and instruction. Oklahoma City has 182 tornado sirens located across 3 of their 77 counties, Oklahoma, Canadian, and Cleveland counties. The sirens are activated in each county for which the National Weather Service has issued a tornado warning. The sirens are reactivated each time the National Weather Service issues a new tornado warning for that area, so they may sound more than once. No all clear signal is given when the threat has passed. The siren is your cue to turn on your television, radio, or all hazards alert radio to get information about your storm's location and proper protective actions. Citizens are encouraged to monitor weather conditions until the threat has passed. Oklahoma City has no designated public storm shelters. If you have a storm shelter, register its location with the city. Registering your shelter's location will let rescue workers know that you have a shelter and where to find it if a disaster covers it with debris. If you rent, check with your landlord to see if it has already been registered or not. Have regular tornado drills with your family. Make sure your family knows the difference between a tornado watch and a tornado warning. Build an emergency supply kit. Develop an emergency communications plan. Have a plan for getting back together in case family members are separated from one another during a tornado. Ask an out-of-state relative or friend to act as the family contact. After a disaster, it's often easier to call long distance. Make sure everyone in the family knows the name, address, and phone number of the contact person. Even with a storm shelter, you will want to maintain an emergency supply kit with adequate food, water, and other essentials to get you and your family through several days. It is possible that debris from a tornado will lodge over your shelter door, forcing you to wait for emergency relief workers to arrive at your location. In the event of widespread destruction, it could be a day or two before your family is discovered, and it just makes sense to be prepared. This slide shows some of the items recommended to include in your kit. The items with 2 asterisks are ones not shown on the previous slide. Water, you should have at least 1 gallon of water per person per day for at least 3 days. Food, you should pack at least a 3-day supply of non-perishable food for your family. Radio, battery-powered or hand-cranked radio, and a weather alert radio with extra batteries. A first aid kit, a whistle to signal for help, dust masks for each family member, miscellaneous tools such as wrench, pliers, screwdrivers, hammer, and a manual can opener as well. Shoes, clothing, a local map of your town or city, some cash, as ATMs might be unavailable for several days during a disaster, any medications, special dietary requirements, or medical equipment, formula, diapers, and bottles, pet food, leash, and medications, and of course, any important documentations, passports, etc. This slide lists some of the signs of a tornado that you should look for. Strong, persistent rotation in the cloud base, whirling dust or debris on the ground underneath the cloud base, hail or heavy rain followed by either absolute calm or an extreme wind shift, loud, continuous roar or rumble unlike thunder that fades within seconds, visible small, bright blue to green to white power flashes at ground level. Let's watch this quick video from the Weather Network on signs of a tornado. When a tornado is coming, you have a short amount of time to make life or death decisions. Advanced planning and a quick response are keys to surviving. Shelter in place, take shelter where you are. The best option is to go into a storm shelter. If no shelter is available and you are at home, go to the lowest level of the building into an interior hallway or small room without windows, such as a bathroom or closet. Stay in the center of the room as corners tend to attract debris. If possible, get under a piece of sturdy furniture and use your arms to protect your head and neck. If you are at work or school, go to the basement or to an inside hallway at the lowest level. Avoid spaces with wide span roofs, such as auditoriums, cafeterias, large hallways, or shopping malls. Get under a piece of furniture and use your arms to protect your head and neck. Be aware of your children's school policies as well. In Moore, Oklahoma, for example, if the students are on a school bus when the warning is given, they will be taken to the nearest school at that moment to take shelter. So you may not know where your children are if that happens. Be sure to know who to call. If you are outside, go inside a building. If shelter is not available and there is no time to go indoors, lie in a ditch or low-lying area or crouch near a strong building. Be aware of potential for flooding. Again, use your arms to protect your head and neck. If you are in a car, get out immediately and take shelter in a nearby building. Never try to outrun a tornado. They can change directions quickly and lift up a car or truck with ease. If there is no time to get indoors, get out of the car and lie in a ditch or low-lying area away from the vehicle. Be aware, again, for potential flooding. And never take cover under a bridge. So what things should you plan for in the aftermath of a tornado? Keep family and pets together and wait for emergency personnel to arrive. Consider microchipping your pet in case they are separated from you. Continue to monitor local TV, radio, or weather radio and stay alert for further information and instructions. Watch out for fallen power lines and be aware of broken gas lines. Stay out of damaged buildings. And if you are away from home, return only when authorities say it is safe to do so. In order to be prepared for tornado season, you will need to keep these 3 things in mind. Your local Red Cross can help you with all 3 of these. Here are 3 national resources you can use to get more information about tornadoes and tornado preparedness. Feel free to pause the recording at this time and write down any of this information. You can also check with your local municipality websites for information specific to your location. Also, at the end of this recording, you will be automatically directed to a website where you can download a checklist that summarizes all the items reviewed today. This concludes our recording on tornado preparedness. Thank you for listening and for your service. Please feel free to contact your regional military family services coordinators for more information on disaster planning in your location.